I sit at my desk, triple-checking the Preston account projections. The morning light filters through the blinds, casting thin stripes across my monitor. 6 years at Wendell and Hayes and the Preston account could finally push me into consideration for partnership. My fingers tap a quiet rhythm on the mahogany desk edge, not a nervous tick, just the calculation of success measured in precise intervals. The office phone rings. My heart skips a familiar beat, the way it always does when opportunity calls. Leona Parks speaking. Leona. Martha's voice, usually warm with administrative efficiency, sounds hollow. Mr. Caldwell would like to see you in his office immediately. The word immediately hangs between us. In 6 years, Martin Caldwell has never once used that word with me. Is everything all right, Martha? A pause. Just come up as soon as possible, please. The line goes dead. I save my presentation, straighten my charcoal pencil skirt, and rise from my chair with the measured composure that has become my professional signature. Across the bullpen, heads lift in subtle curiosity. Kendra from accounting raises an eyebrow. Tim from research suddenly finds his computer screen fascinating. They know something I don't. The elevator ride to the executive floor feels eternal. My reflection in the polished brass doors shows nothing, no fear, no confusion. Just Leona Parks, the woman who built the Thompson portfolio from scratch, who salvaged the Westerly account when everyone said it was unsalvageable. Martin's door stands ajar. Through the gap, I see him hunched behind his desk, shoulders curved with the weight of whatever's coming. He looks up when I knock. Come in, Leona, close the door. I do as instructed, taking the seat across from him without being asked. Martin's face, usually animated with industry gossip or client victoricias, hardened into stone. There's no easy way to say this. His fingers form a steeple, a cathedral of bad news. Someone called the ethics committee yesterday with allegations. Allegations? The word tastes wrong. Claims that you have a substance abuse problem, that you've been skimming from client accounts to fund it. The accusation hits like a physical blow. My stomach clenches, but my face betrays nothing. That's absurd. You know me, Martin. 6 years without so much as a decimal point out of place. I know. His eyes won't meet mine. But the caller provided details. Account numbers, transaction dates. False details, I counter, leaning forward. Who would make such claims? Martin shifts a paper across his desk. The caller identified herself as your sister. The world stops. My lungs forget how to function. Sabrina? Her name escapes as barely a whisper. He nods, grimacing. Sabrina Parks. Said she was coming forward out of family concern. Family concern. The words echo in my head, colliding with memories from 2 Sundays ago. Sabrina across the dining table at our parents' house, her artistic hands animated as she described her latest sure-thing venture. It's only $10,000, Leona. Just a small loan until the gallery takes off. Her smile, so practiced in its vulnerability. You've always been so good with money. For the first time in 15 years of Sabrina's emergencies, I'd said no, politely, firmly. I can't this time, Sab. The timing isn't right. Mother's fork had clattered against her plate. Leona, you're always the responsible one. You can afford it. Father had disappeared deeper behind his newspaper. The rustle of pages his only contribution. You always do this, Sabrina had whispered. Hold your success over us. Now, in Martin's office, the pieces click into horrible place. The firm has no choice but to terminate your employment, effective immediately. Martin slides a manila envelope across the desk. Her will oversee you clearing out your desk. I stand, legs steady despite the floor tilting beneath me. Will you be telling the Preston Group why their presentation won't be happening today? A flash of discomfort crosses his face. That's not necessary. Because you know it's not true, I say softly. Martin looks away. Security will escort you to your desk. I walk through the office with my head high, ignoring the whispers, the pitying glances. Mark from legal watches me pack my family photo, my certification plaques, my leather portfolio. I take nothing from the company except what is undeniably mine. The drive home passes in a fog of shock. My phone rings as I pull into my parking space. Leona, it was just a joke. Sabrina's voice, light and dismissive. You're always so serious. I didn't think they'd actually fire you. I end the call without speaking. My apartment welcomes me with silence. The wall of family photos stares back Christmas gatherings, graduation ceremonies, birthday celebrations. Years of smiling faces hiding years of one-sided giving. With methodical precision, I remove each frame from the wall. The hooks leave tiny holes, small wounds in the plaster. I place each picture in a storage box, not roughly, but with the care of someone handling evidence. When the wall stands bare, I close the box and slide it into the back of my closet. No more, I whisper to the empty apartment. Not $1 more. My apartment transforms into a war room overnight. The dining table disappears beneath a landscape of company profiles, industry reports, and notepad pages filled with my precise handwriting. A large calendar dominates the wall where family photos once hung, each square marked with interview times, follow-up calls, and research deadlines. 3 weeks after Martin Caldwell destroyed my career, I run my finger across tomorrow's square. Camden Stratton Group, 10 a.m. A financial boutique making waves by poaching mid-sized accounts from established firms. My phone buzzes. Richard Harmon, the only colleague who bothered to check if I was okay after security escorted me out. Got a minute? His voice holds an unusual urgency. Always for you, Richard. Just left drinks with my college roommate. He's VP at Camden Stratton now. He pauses. I mentioned you. Graham Camden himself wants to meet you tomorrow. My heart skips. Graham Camden? The founder? The very same. And Leona. Richard lowers his voice. He specifically mentioned your work on the Preston account. The call ends, and I dive into research with renewed purpose. Camden Stratton's client list, market position, recent acquisitions. I rehearse answers until my voice grows hoarse, anticipating every possible question. The bedroom clock reads 2:14 a.m. when I finally allow myself to sleep. The Camden Stratton offices occupy the top floor of a glass tower downtown. The receptionist leads me to a corner conference room with floor-to-ceiling windows. The door opens and Graham Camden enters silver-haired Brooks Brothers suit, eyes sharp with intelligence. Miss Parks. His handshake is firm. I've heard remarkable things about your work. The interview flows unlike any I've experienced. No behavioral questions, no hypotheticals. Instead, Graham presses for specifics about market trends, client acquisition strategies, and my thoughts on emerging investment vehicles. Your analysis of the Dorchester sector is precisely what we've been missing, he says, leaning forward. Tell me, how familiar are you with Wendell and Hayes's Preston portfolio? I tense slightly. Very familiar. I developed their 5-year growth strategy. A smile creases the corners of his eyes. I know. That's partly why you're here. Graham slides a folder across the polished table. Inside, an offer letter with a salary figure that makes me blink twice to confirm I haven't misread it. The number gleams 2.4 times my previous compensation. Director of Client Strategy. I read aloud. We've been watching Wendell and Hayes's clients for months, Graham says, not bothering to soften the predatory edge in his voice. Their vulnerabilities, their hesitations. What we lacked was someone who understood them from the inside. He taps the offer letter. Someone like you. The opportunity crystallizes before Menet just a job, but a platform for something more, something resembling justice. When can you start? Monday, I reply without hesitation. My apartment door barely closes behind me when my phone rings. Mother's name on the screen. I consider letting it go to voicemail, then answer. Leona, honey, we heard you're between jobs. Her voice drips with a concern that never materialized during 6 years of family dinners where I paid for everyone's meal. Do you need help with rent? Your father and I worry. I'm fine, Mother. Well, your father mentioned there's a temporary position at the hardware store. Office work. Nothing fancy, but it would tide you over. Before I can respond, a text from Sabrina flashes on my screen. So sorry about the misunderstanding at your old job. BTW. Found an amazing art course that could launch my career. Only $5,000. Can we talk? I end my mother's call with vague reassurances. Not 10 minutes later, the doorbell rings. Derek stands in the hallway, hands in his pockets, concern painted across his face in broad, theatrical strokes. Thought I'd check on my big sis, he says, glancing past me into the apartment. Heard things are rough. His eyes linger on my laptop where Graham Camden's offer letter glows on the screen. I close it before he can read the details. I'm managing, Derek. But thanks for stopping by. 2 weeks into my new position, Graham hands me my first major assignment. Wendell and Hayes just renewed their contract with Stone River Investments. $60 million annually. I want it. My fingers tingle. Stone River Martin Caldwell's crown jewel. The account that funded the East Wing expansion. The account he personally handled. Stone River's CFO has concerns about their current returns, I say, pulling from knowledge no competitor should have. They're particularly worried about emerging market exposure. Graham's eyebrows rise slightly. Do tell. Late nights blur together as I craft the perfect pitch. I know Stone River's portfolio better than they know themselves, their risk tolerance, their board's pressure points, their CEO's preference for clear visual representations over dense reports. The presentation day arrives. Stone River's executive team sits across the conference table, faces neutral but eyes alert. I stand, smoothing my charcoal suit. Gentlemen, ladies, you're currently allocating 14.3% to emerging markets through Wendell and Hayes' proprietary fund. I pause, letting the exact figure register. A fund that underperformed the benchmark by 3.2% last quarter. Their CFO straightens. I've hooked him with specificity where other firms offered generalities. 90 minutes later, I've answered every question, countered every objection. The CEO leans back, fingers steepled. We'll need to discuss internally, he says, but his eyes tell a different story. 3 days later, Graham pops the cork on a bottle of Dom Perignon. $50 million, he announces to the gathered team. Stone River just signed. Our newest superstar delivered the biggest account transfer of the quarter. Champagne flutes clink around me. My phone buzzes with a voicemail notification. Martin Caldwell's name appears on the screen. Leona, it's Martin. I've just heard about Stone River. Perhaps we should talk. There might be a misunderstanding we could clear up about your departure. The office erupts in celebration around me. Colleagues who barely knew me a month ago raise toasts to my success. I stare at Martin's message for a long moment, then press delete without saving. Some misunderstandings need no clarification. The business journal sits open on my coffee table. My photo smiles back at me, confident, composed, successful. The Camden Stratton logo gleams in the corner of the page. The headline reads, Rising Star, Leona Parks transforms Camden's client strategy. 3 weeks at my new position, and already the profile piece has made waves. The reporter captured my journey without mentioning Wendell and Hayes, direct professional courtesy I hadn't requested. My phone vibrates against the granite countertop. I glance at the screen. Mother, again. The family group chat, dormant since my firing, now overflows with sudden activity. 15 new messages since breakfast. I haven't opened a single one. My phone buzzes with another notification. Mother has forwarded the article linked to me privately with a message. We're so proud of you. Dad and I were just telling the Hendersons about our brilliant daughter. The same mother who 3 weeks ago hadn't returned my calls. The same father who suggested I take some time to reflect on my choices when I told him about Sabrina's betrayal. I sip my coffee, letting the bitterness linger. The timer on my oven beeps banana bread, a Saturday morning ritual I've maintained through chaos. As I slide on oven mitts, my phone lights up with Sabrina's name. Against better judgment, I answer. Leo, I've been trying to reach you. Her voice carries the familiar sing-song quality that once preceded every request. Did you see the article? You look amazing. What do you want, Sabrina? The words come out flat, devoid of the anger still burning beneath my ribs. Well, since you ask. A pause. I can almost see her twirling her hair, the practiced gesture she's used since childhood. Remember that art course I mentioned? The one with Marcel Dupont? His summer intensive starts next month, and I finally got accepted. I slide the banana bread onto the cooling rack. Congratulations. The thing is, it's $5,000 for the 8-week program, materials included, of course. She rushes forward before I can respond. This could launch everything for me, Leo. Marcel only takes 12 students each summer. No. The simplicity of refusal feels clean. But this isn't like those other times. This is legitimate. This is... Still no. I end the call and silence notifications. The apartment feels suddenly spacious, as if my refusal has cleared invisible clutter. The doorbell rings at 2:17 p.m. Through the peephole, I see Derek's familiar slouch, his hands jammed into the pockets of jeans that cost more than my first month's rent after college. Hey, sis. His smile appears the moment I open the door. Just in the neighborhood. Thought I'd stop by. Were you? I don't step aside to let him in. His eyes dart past me to the apartment. Can I come in? It's about Mom and Dad. I relent, if only because Mrs. Abernathy across the hall has her door cracked open. Derek sprawls on my sofa, his lanky frame taking up more space than necessary. He eyes the business journal still open on the table. Saw your fancy article. Big shot now, huh? I remain standing. What about Mom and Dad? They're thinking about redoing the kitchen, finally replacing those awful oak cabinets Mom always hated. He runs a hand through hair that costs $200 to maintain. Dad got some quotes. $24,000 for what they want. The number hangs between us. And, I fold my arms. And they were hoping, you know, with your new big job. He trails off, watching my face. Just a loan until their home equity line comes through. My laugh startles us both. Is that what they're calling it now? A loan? Look, I know things have been weird lately. Weird? Sabrina got me fired, Derek. She called my firm and accused me of theft and drug addiction. That's not weird. That's criminal. He has the decency to look uncomfortable. She said it was just a misunderstanding. And now, 3 weeks later, you're all circling like vultures. I walk to my kitchen and return with my laptop. Let me show you something. I open a spreadsheet I've spent nights compiling. Column after column of loans dating back 7 years. Dates, amounts, purposes. A final column. Repaid? Rows of no march downward like an indictment. $23,000 to Sabrina, $18,000 to you, $35,000 to Mom and Dad. I turn the screen toward him. I've been maintaining this for years, telling myself it was just record keeping. Now I see it for what it is. Evidence. Derek's face pales. Evidence of what? Financial exploitation. The legal term lands with precision. I've pulled text messages, emails. The pattern is clear. When I'm struggling, radio silence. When I succeed, everyone needs just a little help. We're family, he protests, but the words sound hollow even to him. Family doesn't sabotage careers. Family doesn't see success as an ATM. I close the laptop with a snap. I need you to leave. After he's gone, I sit at my desk and open 4 separate documents. Each letter begins differently, but all contain the same core truth. No more. I include specific amounts, dates, promises, made and broken. For Sabrina, I include transcripts of voice messages where she admitted the call to Wendell and Hayes. For my parents, I include their dismissals of my career while accepting its financial benefits. The letters take shape under my fingersnot, not emotional outpourings but financial statements of account, facts, evidence, boundaries. By evening, 4 envelopes sit before me. I address each in my neat handwriting, apply stamps with methodical precision. No rush, no anger visible in the careful script, just clarity. Monday morning, I stop at the post office before work. The clerk looks up as I place 4 certified mail envelopes on the counter. Need delivery confirmation? He asks, already reaching for the forms. Yes. I meet his eyes. I need to know exactly when they receive them. He nods, processing each letter with mechanical efficiency. I watch as he stamps each one, the official mark sealing my decision. That'll do it, he says, handing me the receipts. I drop the letters into the mail slot, watching them disappear with a soft thud. The point of no return passed, not with the mailing but with the writing. The moment I decided my worth wasn't negotiable. Outside, the spring sun feels warmer somehow. I check my watch. Still time to get coffee before my 9 a.m. meeting with Graham. The weight I've carried for years has transformed into something lighter, something with wings. Let them read. Let them know. Let them feel, for once, the consequences of their actions. No more. I stand at my office window, watching the city sparkle 32 floors below. Morning light catches the glass facades of neighboring buildings, transforming downtown into a kaleidoscope of reflected sun. My new corner office at Camden Stratton offers a view I couldn't have imagined 6 weeks ago. My calendar sits open on my mahogany desk, today's date circled in red. The certified letters should have arrived yesterday. I've prepared for this moment, rehearsed the conversations in my head, yet my stomach tightens at the thought of what's coming. 3 text notifications buzz in rapid succession. I don't need to look to know who they're from. Graham pokes his head through my doorway. Ready for the Westfield presentation? His eyes narrow slightly. Everything all right at home? Perfect. I lie, sliding my phone into my desk drawer, just finalizing the projections. The moment he leaves, I retrieve my phone. 27 missed calls, 14 voicemails, 39 text messages, the digital avalanche I've been expecting. I press play on the first voicemail. Leona Margaret, Mother's voice wavers between fury and tears. How could you say such things? After everything we've done for you? Call me immediately. Delete. This has gone far enough. Father's stern voice, the one he used when I stayed out past curfew in high school. You will fix this immediately. Your mother is beside herself. Delete. Sabrina's texts morph from rage to desperation. 8:14 a.m. Who do you think you are? 8:32 a.m. You had no right to air our family business. 9:17 a.m. Please call me. We need to talk. 10:01 a.m. I'm sorry about the job thing. I never thought they'd fire you. 10:46 a.m. Please, Leona. I need you. I scroll through similar messages from my parents, each one a mixture of demands and guilt, until I reach an unexpected name, Derek. Hey sis, got your letter. You're right, I need help. Can we talk? No money, just talk. His message sits alone in its honesty, but I've heard similar promises before. I place my phone face down on the desk and turn back to the Westfield numbers. Saturday morning arrives with autumn sunshine streaming through my apartment windows. I've planned a quiet weekend, brunch at the new cafe down the street, perhaps a visit to the bookstore afterward. My first weekend without financial chaos since I was 22. The doorbell rings with an insistence that makes my coffee mug pause halfway to my lips. It rings again, 3 short bursts, my mother's signature ring. Through the peephole, I see them, all 4 family members crowded in the hallway. Mother stands front and center, clutching her purse like a shield. Father looms behind her, jaw set in that familiar stubborn line. Sabrina fidgets with her hair, eyes darting nervously. Derek stands slightly apart, hands in pockets, shoulders hunched. I consider not answering. Then I remember the letters, filled with 15 years of documented truths. I open the door. We need to talk about those horrible letters, Mother announces, pushing past me without waiting for an invitation. They file into my living room like a jury entering a courtroom. Mother takes the armchair, her preferred power position. Father stands beside her, arms crossed. Sabrina perches on the edge of the sofa, mascara already smudged from earlier tears. Derek chooses the window seat, keeping distance. This has gone far enough, Father begins, echoing his voicemail. Whatever point you're trying to make. The point was truth, I interrupt, remaining standing. Every word in those letters is documented fact. You humiliated us, Mother says. Those things were private family matters. Private like Sabrina calling my firm with false accusations that cost me my career? Sabrina's face crumples. I didn't think they'd actually fire you. I was angry. You've always had everything so easy. A laugh escapes me, sharp, humorless. Easy? I've given you over $80,000 in 10 years, Sabrina, documented in the letter you received. You've always lorded your success over us, she counters, but her voice lacks conviction. Success I earned while you were taking art classes I paid for. The words flow now, years of silence breaking. Success I shared through every emergency loan that was never repaid. We're family, Mother interjects. Family helps each other. Family doesn't exploit. Family doesn't sabotage careers out of spite. An unexpected voice breaks through. She's right. Derek looks up, eyes red, rimmed but clear. I've been taking advantage for years. The gambling. It's worse than any of you know. I need help. His confession shifts something in the room. Sabrina stares at her hands, then whispers, I was jealous. You make everything look so easy while I struggle with everything. Easy? I repeat. I worked 60-hour weeks while handling your constant financial emergencies. We may have. Father hesitates, the closest he's ever come to admitting fault. We may have expected too much from you, Leona. Mother's perfect posture crumbles slightly. We thought since you were doing so well. You thought my success meant unlimited resources for everyone else's mistakes. I finish. That stops now. The truth hangs between us. Uncomfortable, unavoidable, but finally acknowledged. For the first time in 15 years, my family sees me. The calendar on my kitchen wall shows 4 weeks since the family showdown. 4 weeks of blessed silence. My phone, once a constant barrage of financial emergencies and guilt trips, sits quietly on the counter. No missed calls from mother, no desperate texts from Sabrina, no urgent voicemails from father. I run my finger across the unmarked dates, each empty square representing a day I didn't have to say no, didn't have to explain, didn't have to feel that familiar twist of obligation in my stomach. Freedom tastes different than I imagined, less like triumph and more like room to breathe. My apartment has transformed in subtle ways. Books long abandoned now rest open on my coffee table. A half-finished watercolor occupies my dining room tableau, hobby buried since college beneath family obligations. The walls remain bare where family photos once hung, but the tiny nail holes have disappeared beneath fresh paint, pearl white, my choice. The family group chat notification light hasn't blinked in 29 days. I scroll through it occasionally, like examining artifacts from a former civilization. Mother's last message. We need to discuss this as adults. Sabrina's final plea. You've destroyed everything. Father's closing statement. When you're ready to be reasonable, we'll talk. Derek's separate text arrives on a Tuesday morning as I'm reviewing quarterly projections. I've started therapy. First step. Hope you're okay. I stare at the message, waiting for the follow-up request. The inevitable ask hiding beneath the vulnerability. None comes. Instead, an image appears, a bronze coin with 30 stamped in the center, surrounded by the words, "One day at a time." The coin sits in his palm, fingers slightly curled around it like something precious. No elaborate caption, no grandiose declaration of change, just evidence. Quiet proof. I type and delete 3 responses before settling on, "I'm proud of you, keep going." His typing indicator appears, disappears, appears again. Finally, "Thanks, Lee." Just that. No request for celebration dinner, no hint about financial struggles, no subtle reminder of how hard recovery is and how much easier it would be with help. The exchange ends there, leaving a strange lightness in my chest. At work, my corner office expands. The glass walls now encompass what was once a conference room, Graham insisted. "Can't have our rising star crammed into a shoebox," he announced, dropping the expanded floor plan on my desk. "The Westerly acquisition put us in a new league, Leona. Time to dress for the part." Behind the plans sat a more significant document: partnership papers. Equity stake. My name to be added to the letterhead by year's end. 50 clients followed you from Wendell and Hayes," Graham said, leaning against my doorframe. "Martin Caldwell called me yesterday. Asked if we were hiring. Seems they've lost 60% of their portfolio. The satisfaction I feel isn't petty. It's mathematical, precise, the exact measurement of what I'm worth." "Did you tell him we have an opening in the mailroom?" I ask. Graham's laugh fills the office. "I told him we require references." My assistant knocks, then enters with a folder. The mentorship program roster. 15 women confirmed for the fall session. I flip through the applications: young financial advisors, investment specialists, account managers. Women at the beginning of careers where they'll be underestimated, overlooked, asked to prove themselves twice over. Women I can help navigate without sacrificing themselves. In the elevator, I check my phone and find something unexpected: Sabrina's Instagram update. No direct message to me, just a public post visible to anyone who scrolls by. "Starting real work, real healing." The caption reads above a photo of her in a crisp white shirt, arranging framed artwork on gallery walls. Not her own chaotic paintings this time, but other artists' work. Her expression contains something I've rarely seen: concentration without performance. I swipe to the next image. My parents' home, their living room stripped of its Italian leather sectional and massive entertainment system, replaced by simpler furniture. Mother standing beside a for sale sign in the front yard, her smile tight but determined. The third post stops my breath. Father's corporate credit card, cut in half. The family boat listing on a sales website. Evidence of downsizing scattered across Sabrina's normally glamorous social media feed. My phone buzzes with an email notification. Father's address. Subject line: family meeting. Your terms. I open it, standing in the parking garage, keys suspended in my hand. "Leona. Attached is our financial counselor's report and 6-month plan. We've made the changes you suggested in your letter. If you're willing, we would like to meet. Your choice of location, date, and time. Dad. A handwritten note has been scanned and attached below his signature. We were wrong, I was wrong all these years. If you'll let us try again, we'll do better. Mom. No guilt trip. No emotional manipulation. No pretense that everything can return to normal with one conversation. I slide into my car and place the keys in the ignition without turning them. The choice hangs before me: continue forward alone or attempt reconstruction with new blueprints. I rest my forehead against the steering wheel and close my eyes, searching for the answer in the quiet I fought so hard to earn. I pause at the edge of the driveway, taking in the changes to my childhood home. The luxury SUV that once dominated the garage has vanished, replaced by a modest sedan with practical lines. The elaborate landscaping has been simplified: fewer ornamental plants, more perennials that require minimal care. Even from outside, I can sense the transformation. The front door opens before I reach it. Mother stands in the doorway, her smile tentative. Gone are the designer clothes and statement jewelry. Her sweater is simple wool, her only adornment a thin gold chain I recognize from my grandmother's collection. Leona. She doesn't rush forward for an embrace, respecting the invisible boundary between us. Thank you for coming. Father appears behind her, his frame somehow smaller in a plain button-down rather than his usual tailored shirts. His eyes meet mine with an unfamiliar humility. We've been looking forward to this, he says, stepping aside to let me enter. The living room furniture I remember, Italian leather and custom upholstery, has disappeared. In its place stands practical, comfortable seating arranged for conversation rather than impression. Family photos still line the mantel, but they've been curated. The forced smiles of holiday gatherings have been replaced with candid moments of genuine connection. We're in the dining room, Mother says, leading the way. The gleaming mahogany table where I'd first refused Sabrina's loan request has been replaced with a simpler oak piece. 4 place settings await, each with a folder positioned precisely beside the plate. Derek and Sabrina are already seated, both rising when I enter. Derek steps forward first. Hey, sis. His voice carries none of its usual charm, offensive. He looks healthy, clear-eyed, steady. He pulls out my chair without flourish. Sabrina meets my gaze directly. Her artistic hands, once animated with dramatic gestures, rest quietly on the table. Thank you for giving us this chance. I take my seat, noting the deliberate arrangement. No one at the head of the table. 4 equals facing each other. Father clears his throat. We thought we should begin with full disclosure. He opens his folder, revealing a comprehensive financial statement. This is our rehabilitation plan. 3 financial counseling sessions completed. 4 more scheduled. We've downsized systematically. Mother touches her folder. My therapy receipts. 12 sessions focused on enabling behaviors and emotional manipulation patterns. Her voice wavers but steadies. The hardest work I've ever done. Derek slides a small gold token across the table. 90 days. 1 day at a time. His fingers drum nervously before stilling. Leading a support group for younger guys now. Turns out my charm works for something useful. Sabrina pushes her folder toward me. It contains employment verification from Hamilton Gallery. Assistant curator. Entry. Level salary, but it's real. First legitimate job in a decade. She tucks a strand of hair behind her Ermi gesture, I realize with surprise. No more sure things or just until my art takes off. I open my own folder, pulling out the single sheet I've prepared. 3 columns of clear terms written in precise handwriting. My conditions, I say, voice steady. No more guilt trips. No more secrets. Total honesty. I tap the second column. Financial discussions happen quarterly, with statements prepared in advance. All loans documented with repayment terms. My finger moves to the third column. Monthly family therapy sessions required for 1 year, then quarterly after that. I look at each face around the table. Individual relationships rebuild one at a time. Trust isn't collective. The room falls silent. Then Father nods, a gesture of acceptance without argument. Mother reaches for her water glass, her hand trembling slightly. Derek's eyes remain clear, present. Sabrina's artistic fingers trace invisible patterns on the tablecloth, but her gaze never wavers from mine. We agree to your terms, Father says simply. The clock on the wall ticks forward. Outside, spring sunlight filters through new leaves on the old maple tree. Inside, 4 adults sit in the strange new territory of honesty.